Hello and welcome to an Arts Alive Acoustic special. Our guests in the studio are Kalandra, a band with parts from Norway but assembled in Liverpool. A couple of years ago, I was a guest on a local radio show and I was bemoaning the lack of innovation with the contemporary music scene. The DJ immediately challenged my out-of-date assumptions and played me some of the new material sent to him by local bands. One of the bands stood out. The music leapt out from the speakers and had an immediate effect on me. The sound was unique, well-crafted songs complemented by polished production and appeal to the senses which I'd not really heard for some time. I was amazed that I'd not heard this band before, and I started to contemplate the aims and struggles and the life of new bands starting from scratch and how they go about their work in the contemporary music scene. Well, we've got three members of Kalandra here in the studio today to tell us their story over the next hour. And we're delighted to welcome Katrin, Jogaya and Florian. So, Katrin, you're lead singer with Kalandra. When did you decide to develop a career in music, and did you just not listen to your parents?
No, it's true. They wanted me to pick something safe, but I think they understood quite early on that I was just too much in love with music and it would just have to be music. I think it started pretty early already when I was in, what's it called, like junior preschool? Yeah, I think it's called preschool. Excuse my English. And I was always picked out to sing on like local events where all the parents would gather. So I just sort of continued. I always sang, and in junior high I sang, and then I started going to a musical high school and I picked singing as my main instrument. So it just sort of always, yeah.
So you come over to Liverpool to study music. I mean, how difficult was that to find new friends and coming to a different country and speaking a different language?
The reason I applied to England in the first place was because English is a language I understand well enough to be able to study. So, and I always...
singing as well.
Yeah, and I always knew that I really wanted to improve my English language, and I always wanted to just travel abroad, get away from Norway. It's a lovely country, but you know, you need to travel, and I love traveling. So I thought England it's a good choice. And I don't think it's as hard to move abroad when you have a purpose, and you know, you go into university and you know everyone are there for the same reason. You know, I met people from Germany, South Korea, Canada, America, and there were people from all over the world, and it was just amazing to be able to learn from all these people. Yeah.
And you, Guy, again, you chose to come to Liverpool. And I've just got a quote here from Liverpool Sound and Vision about the band. It says, Kalandra follow in the footsteps of other bands and artists that have Liverpool, thanks in part to Lipper, running through their veins and exemplify the belief that Liverpool truly is the place in which music in England starts. So what attracted you to Liverpool?
Well, that's a good quote, actually, because the history of Liverpool is sort of the hub for development of English music. Ever since they got the rock music, blues music through the ports. And there is sort of a Norwegian influence in that whole melting pot, I would say.
There is.
Like the scouse.
And the scouse, of course.
Yeah. So,
that's right.
So
Norwegian dish, you say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I feel like, you know, you're part of the bigger picture, coming with the Norwegian influences in a, you know, it's getting more and more global, but still you have your own identity brought into it, and then you have the melting pot in Lipper and in Liverpool in general, that sort of.
And Florian, of course, you know, you're studying at Lipper. What was life like there for you?
It was a lot of fun. But I missed it already. It's been a year and a half or so.
Professional now.
Yeah, professional musician now. But no, it's you meet so many interesting people, different cultures, and more importantly for me, different musical tastes and expressions. You learn so much just by interacting with the other students. Don't even need to play, but you go and see someone do their thing, and a South Korean female rapper comes on stage. Like, I never thought of doing that before, or even
exactly.
that was cool. And so no, you learn to broaden your horizons, and I think that was my favorite
Liverpool's
thing.
always been this melting pot, especially with music, and I think it's very interesting about what people have commented about your band. Their sound is pure, sometimes delicate and calming, but also at times dark and fantastical. but nonetheless dreamy. They're a band to really get excited about. That's from Bittersweet Symphonies review. You are quite different, Kat. Is it the variety of influences, or is it the Nordic influence? Where's it come from?
It definitely comes from Nordic and Scandinavian artists that I was really influenced by. One of my biggest influences is probably an artist named Eivør. I'll probably call it Eivor. And then there's a band called Gåte from Norway. Then there's Arne Brun, Sweden, Norwegian. And I'm also inspired by, because when I was a teen, I'm originally a metalhead. So I'm very much inspired. I'm very much inspired by heavy metal bands and how theatrical they are on stage, because they're quite dramatic. And I miss that. I miss that in females, especially. I miss that now these days, to see a girl sort of just rock it, you know. Yeah. And I guess, I mean, the Nordic influences and the Celtic influences, I felt a bit homesick too when I came over here. So I think that was a way of sort of expressing how I was feeling.
And we're going to look at your first video. This is the first song, the first single you brought out, which is this one. And we're going to have a look at Sell Your Voice.
Come on along, it will be just fine.
Welcome back to part 2 and I'll look at the life and times of the wonderful band Kalandra. So, you've put your first single out, I showed it before, a double A side of Not Some Fairy Tale and Sell Your Voice. How do you go about promoting that from scratch, Jogaya?
Well, being sort of our own managers and promoters, we have to put it out there. And we've learned some valuable lessons concerning social media and all that.
Right, you promote through Facebook.
Yeah, it's sending out a lot of mails, finding the bloggers, reviewers, radio stations, and then writing personalized messages and sending them out ourselves.
Yeah. And when I heard you on the radio show, immediately I looked on Facebook. You had the Facebook page, and then I turned up at one of your gigs to have a look at you. How do you go about selecting gigs, Kat? Is there particular venues you look for?
I mean, in the beginning,
Yes.
I was very, I wouldn't say desperate, but you find out who the promoter in town is, and you ask people, you ask bands, and you connect, and I basically just searched them up on Facebook, and I was like, just messaged them, hello, this is what we sound like, do you like what you hear? Let me know, because I would love to play at this venue or this venue. And that's basically how I went about it, really.
I mean, I heard you on a community radio station. I mean, this is a review on the single. You've got obvious talent. It says, Tom Jordan, this is through the Looking Glass, said, unnerving yet beautiful and utterly bewitching. That was for the Not Some Fairy Tale review. And again, the strength of this track is not just Stenback's plaintive and beautiful vocals, but the amazing instrumentation, which is moments of exquisite subtlety. That was from the Nordic Music Review. So, having such, getting to the radio play and getting those type of reviews, Florian, why do you think you weren't signed up immediately?
Haven't the slightest. But no, we didn't pursue it too much to begin with, because we wanted to perfect and refine the sound and really find out what we wanted to do, I suppose. And also, it's a hard industry, and we don't play your run-of-the-mill pop, or we're not a safe bet, maybe. We certainly think we're good enough to get signed. So I guess it's just a matter of time before someone up there in the big labels realize this too.
I think nowadays you spend a lot of time proving yourself, if you know what I mean. You have to have the whole package before maybe a label would pick you up and they'd shape you into something. And now it's more you need to have the whole package, and it needs to be clear, like name, image, music. There needs to be a coherent package there for someone to sell.
Or either they want to start with it from scratch, or they just want a safe bet that they've done it for 10 years and they have a following. We can make money on this.
Well, I'd like to see them try to shape you, actually, because I think one of the things is that you're quite unique, you're quite different from a lot of the bands that I've seen. Do you think that's a hindrance, or does that help progress?
There's good and bad, pros and cons with everything. But I'm a lot more happier being able to choose for ourselves. We do everything ourselves, all the promotion. I'm our manager, and Florian helps out with a lot of graphic design and posters and that. He's designed most of this, pretty much.
T-shirts.
Yeah.
I was wearing that last night.
Yeah.
And the covers.
Yeah,
the
covers too.
Covers. Wow.
And Jolgeir is a mix of both, managing and speaking to people, sending out emails. And
So it's a multi-skill, this band management, playing, everything.
Yeah, it started out just being me, but I'm very, very grateful to be able to
Now, does that come through the training that you had? Can you train that? Can you actually be trained to do that stuff?
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Can you be trained pop stars, apprentice pop stars? Does that happen?
Maybe, I don't know, but you can definitely learn skills. If you really want to get there, you will. And if you really, for example, I'm not very much of a business-minded person at all, but I just thought that I have to learn this skill, or else,
Not gonna make it.
Not gonna really, So I just tried, and you have to be patient, and you learn. And I also learned how to approach different kinds of people in the industry, for example.
Right, and again, to promote the single, this single, you went away and did an absolutely stunning video, which we're going to have a look at in a moment. When I first saw the video, I thought, because this is a really big budget affair, this really does look absolutely fantastic. Could you tell us the story behind the Not Some Fairy Tale video?
I think it looks stunning because it is a stunning scenery, first and foremost.
Yes.
That's where I live, or used to live anyways.
Yeah.
It's up in the mountains there, and it's just endless. It's called Jotunheimen, the home of the Jotuns. And you find it in Nordic mythology as well. That's where all the bad guys lived, and there was this long rainbow bridge going there. Yeah. But it was actually done on, I think, £1,000.
Wow.
And that all that money we got from funding, we asked some local entrepreneurs to support us, and the bank ended up not wanting to have their logo on it anyways because it was too dark.
It was too dark. Well, yes, yeah. I don't want to give the story away, but unfortunately we are speaking to one singer and two corpses, or one murderer and two corpses. But you'll see that in a moment. There's always that folk tradition in Norway. Is this something you draw upon?
Definitely.
Yeah, I mean, further in the southeast where I live, there's not so much a focus on that. It's more metropolitan, but we do. When we hear the music, it resonates. There's something you feel more Norwegian for just listening to it. I guess.
The story behind this actually has quite a number of connotations in different cultures, Celtic culture.
Definitely.
So the story behind it, was that something you heard at school, or was it something that you've read recently behind the fairy tale?
Oh, do you mean like...
the siren.
The siren in...
Do you mean about the song Not Some Fairy Tale?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. It's about Huldra in Norwegian mythology. It's this woman who lives in the woods, and she lures men into their death, basically. Men who are out chopping woods alone in the forest, and they might see like a hallucination.
Okay, so, I mean, for people of a nervous disposition, we are now going to cut to Not Some Fairy Tale. Fantastic video by Kalandra.
I will follow you like the river follows its path, and I will follow you like the leaves caught in a breeze, There's no doubt what I wanna be by your side for eternity. Take my hand and follow my dance. Don't you see this is true romance? I'm your woman, you're my man. Come with me, let's cross the land. Take my hand and follow me. You'll be safe there. You're my man. Just what I am. I'll take care of you, my man. Do you know just what I am? This is not some fairy tale. I'll have you now.
Welcome back to part 3 and our special programme about the life and times of a band in the contemporary music scene and how Kalandra developed their life in music. So, Ugaya, you've thought about your first year in as a band, as Kalandra. How do you then take it further and develop musically into your second sort of phase of music?
It's, always try to, first and foremost, we try to make every song live its own life in its own little bubble and, expand upon what the basis of the songwriting is, which is Katrina. Mm-hmm. But then, since we're really different in our musical tastes, so we sort of be pulling in each other direction and then takes it to a common ground that we can all sort of relate to, and then we're happy with it. But then we always have been trying to reinvent our way of making music by doing different approaches to it. Some just jamming it out in the rehearsal room, or producing it in a demo just by yourself, and then take it. Yeah. So
I'd just like to talk a little bit about this. This is the second single and another double A side, which is, a fantastic idea when you've got such strong tracks. Onto the Fire and Rest Your Soul. Yeah. Really quite different tracks. Complete diversity
the
here.
The quietest, or most chilled down track we have, actually. Yeah.
Fabulous. I mean, this is one of the reviews, and again, this is from Patrick Clark, The Looking Glass. He said, an example of their sheer strength in versatility. This track's peers are few and far between. Kalandra is a band not to be trifled with. Excellent review again. The arrangement is excellent with superb tracking. The haunting stillness of the vocals comes to prominence in an especially savoury way on Rest Your Soul. That's ISSU magazine. When you come to that second single, it's always a difficult choice to make. Do you establish a sound, or do you show your diversity?
Yeah.
Why did you decide to go down that route, Kat?
It's a very good question. The two first singles, Sell Your Voice and Not Some Fairy Tale, were different, but it was still like in the same sort of theme. And but I'm the sort of person, I love so much different kind of music. I don't want to just stick to like one theme. It's impossible for me. So we thought, in
the same song, there's various themes as well.
Yeah.
Not just.
So we thought, okay, Onto the Fire, Rest Your Soul. Let's make it sort of almost a little bit of a schizophrenic single. You see it on the cover as well, Onto the Fire, where half the burnt face, and on the other side it grows. So we just thought we wanted to just try it. Let's see how it goes. And yeah.
Yeah. And when you come to promote this, you started to do bigger gigs now. You're looking at supports, E4 example, big festivals. How does that go? How do you get involved in that? And how does that feel when you're on a huge stage with lots of...
Oh, that's the best feeling ever, being on a big stage with lots of people there. Yeah. How we get the festivals, much the same way. We promote it, personal contact with festival managers. We sit online, hunting down emails and phone numbers, and try and make an effort to personally confront each of them, each booking manager, instead of just sending out mass emails and spam them down.
Yeah. Definitely. And in the beginning, you send an email out, and obviously they're not going to reply like that. So you call them, you're like, hello, have you seen the email? We are Kalandra, have you heard our music? Like, oh no, I haven't. Like, cool, you can check it out now. Why don't we just check the email out right now? Like, I don't really have time, but I will definitely check it out. I'll call you back later. And then he's not going to check it out. So 2 days later, you call him up again, for example, and hello, manager for so-and-so festival. Have you checked it out yet? no, I haven't. I will do it now. I'm like, great. And you just try to be extra, super.
You got to be a bit
super
pushy.
Someone told us
polite.
that you have to make them feel bad. So I
So
call
that
it.
they will
So they
guiltily check it out,
like
oh.
if you make them promise to check it out and you hunt them down 3 days later and like, have you checked them out? Oh, no, I haven't. Sorry. Oh, I'll check it out. Then you already have them sort of.
The upper hand.
Yeah.
Again,
how
you're
it
doing
is.
this in the backdrop of studying as well. And how does that compare with the real world and your study? Do they actually help?
Oh, absolutely. Well,
They do.
because the studies we did, we learned a lot about this in the business side of doing music and just communication, really. So for our university studies anyway, they absolutely blended
That
perfectly.
was part of our job. You know, we'd have meetings every week saying, so have you contacted this promoter? How did that festival slot go? Did you get it? For example, and that would be, and you would write a blog every week and just like update on the process. So it's quite nice how it was basically music business.
Yeah. We're going to talk about your third single now, which has just come out on the 9th of November. This is Love You Right. Absolutely beautiful single. Very emotional pull to it. I know I felt quite emotional watching it, but maybe because I'm an old man. But certainly there's an emotional pull to it. Can you tell us a little bit about that song? Because we're going to see the video in a minute.
Yeah, well, it's very much of a love song. What can I say? It's sort of when you're a young adult and you're sort of like caught in the middle and you ask yourself, is this love? Is this for the long run? Will this last, kind of thing?
And the people you got in the video, where did they come from? Are they actors?
All friends of ours. All friends of ours.
Family members and friends, and we wanted to get genuine, real reactions when we interviewed them about what they thought about love.
Yeah.
And we wanted real reactions there instead of some scripted event.
Actually traveled around for, it took about 4 months altogether. And we traveled around and had like 2 hours interviews about love and life and what they thought about the,
And then you videoed the people that did it.
Yeah.
Well,
Learned a lot about filming.
Yeah.
well, I think we should go straight to this video. This is Love You Right by Kalandra.
Would you still love me when I'm old and promise to have and to hold? Would you stay till death do us part? If so, then I'll give you my heart. Heartbeat. The world was lying at our feet, whether in your arms or worlds apart. You know you'd always have my heart. You know me like the inside of my hand. I know exactly where you stand, and to have you for eternity is all I need, so answer me. Would you still love me when I'm old and promise to have and to hold? Would you stay till death do us part? If so, then I'll give you my heart. I just wanna love you right. love you right. I just wanna love you right. I just wanna love you right.
And welcome back to part 4 of Arts Acoustic, where we continue the story of Kalandra so far, and we're treated to a live acoustic performance. So, after graduating from LIPA, you continue to live in Liverpool and you have a go at making a living as musicians in the first year after leaving. Kat, how difficult is that to sustain?
It was quite difficult. Not so much. I mean, I got a job at a restaurant, which was okay, but it was more, I think, mentally difficult because, I mean, you had this like support from teachers and everything, and you had someone who pushed you forward all the time and asked you critical questions and stuff like that to make you push forward. All of a sudden, you are on your own. But I like to believe I'm quite disciplined in the first place, so I know what to do, but I really miss sort of having that sort of, oh, you have to do that, or check this out, you know. I thought it was quite difficult to adapt to the real life. Real life is a slap in the face.
I mean, because up to a point, music can become quite hobbyfied, can't it? It can become the hobby rather than the main purpose that you're trying to. So in terms of that, you know, you're coming back from a shift in a cafe tired, and how do you pick yourself up to start the music?
To be fair, like, it actually made me really concentrate because when I was in work, I was just like thinking about, I should be somewhere else. I don't think my boss, I think she understood that. I don't think I was a very good colleague, and I'm sorry. But I was always like, I know what I need to do. I need to do something else. Okay, when I get home, I'm going to do that and that and that, and I need to send that email, I need to speak with this person. So when I came home, I was like, right, let's do it. And I was just like straight on to the next thing because I knew I can't relax. I mean, it just never stops. You need to keep at it. Yeah, but it did make me a little depressed, I'm not going to lie. But you have to carry on.
Because that's who you are, that's what you do. And of course the three of you get a flat, so you've got each other to support in terms of the music. I'm just going to read a little quote. We had Colin Verne in from Black, Wonderful Life, Black, not so long ago. And one of the things he said was that his musical career was like pushing string up a hill. He said it went well for a few years when it was, you know, when he was having all the success. And then it's back to pushing string up a hill. Yagaya, are you pushing string up a hill?
Definitely.
It is like that. It just doesn't stop. And I think I sometimes miss just have a few days of just being in comfort. Yeah. But you can't really. And I think as soon as you have success, the danger is that you sort of start to relax and you're like, oh, everything's going smoothly. But you have to always be one step ahead and be like, it's not always going to be this smooth of a ride. You have to.
But what you're saying about, you know, the quote, and also what you said about it's a danger of hobbification, is that I think if we have had all part-time jobs, and if you make that if you're too glad in comfort, you know, you can't live without, you know, can't be poor. Then, you know, and you start treating it as a hobby, you're gonna, you know, you're just gonna, if you don't believe in it 100% yourself, why should anyone else? Yeah. So I've quit quite a few part-time jobs and you know, gone in and pulled.
I'm gone for a life of poverty, chastity and obedience, really, in order to try and develop a musical career. Florence, how do musicians make a living these days?
Well, you gotta have your hand in different pots, so to speak. Right. You can't just be, well, you can, but it's easier if you're in a band, you do composition, arrangement, produce on the side. Maybe you'll do some function gigs, play weddings, play pubs and bars. And you just have to stretch your creativity and your musical skill in every direction you can.
Yeah. So you have to compromise a little bit, but use your musical skills, because at the end of the day, you're a musician.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's in your DNA now.
And also you learn, when you do function gigs, say, you do learn from that, and you can apply it to your own music.
Right. I mean, I can obviously understand the difficulty of sustaining that, and you make a decision then last year, a heartbreaking decision, to go back to Norway, and you relocate to Oslo. How does that, what purpose does that give you? Why Oslo? Why not Liverpool?
Again, I was going through a little business plan in my head, and I was thinking we can't sustain here. And I felt like it was time to move. It felt right to like move on. But I knew that we have so many great friends here. We have good contacts. We've built up our network. Maybe it's a shame to leave now when things are starting to go well. But I knew that we will come back. A lot of people say that, we'll come back. But I knew that we would definitely come back. And we had a gig last night in the Casimir, and we try to balance being promoters and being a band, and we made it really good, and I think it went really well. So it's just sort of
fantastic. So again, you have come back. You're back here. You've been doing radio and television, and a few other things, live gigs. What can we expect from Kalandra in the near future?
More festival gigs. We have an upcoming EP coming out in the new year. Don't really have a specific date yet, but I'm really looking forward to get that out. It's going to be so nice.
A fabulous new single, Love You Right, which we played before. Where can people get any Kalandra merchandise, as we've got here? I've got the T-shirt and the albums. Where can they find out about you?
Well, the T-shirts you can only get if you come to a gig.
Oh, right.
And we're running out, so we're going to make new ones.
Do you have a website or?
We are actually working on a website. It will be kalandra.no for now, because .com is taken. So NO is like the Norwegian website.
And at the moment, they can contact you on Facebook. That's how
Facebook, SoundCloud,
that's how it works.
Twitter.
We don't have
All the
like
usual
a web page where you buy stuff yet. We're all
Send us a message.
Right.
send us a message.
Okay.
DIY.
So, all it remains to me to say it's been a pleasure to have Kalandra in the studio today, sharing the success and struggles of life in a band. Hope you enjoyed the programme, and Katja, Guy and Florian are going to play us out with
Across the Sea.
Across the Sea. From Kalandra and myself, thanks for watching.
It's hard to leave. Hills and woods all around have been my home, and I remember the morning fog, and I remember the sparkling snow, and I won't forget. No, I won't forget. No, I won't forget the mountains. No, I won't forget. No, I won't forget. No, I won't forget the mountains. Travel, travel, travel alone, away from home.